It's Monday, May 18th, and this is now on HNN.
For the economy to fully recover, people will have to be fully confident, and that may have to await the arrival of a vaccine.
An experimental vaccine against the coronavirus produces encouraging results.
The president meets with restaurant leaders about the impact of the coronavirus on the industry. I'm Natalie Brand at the White House with that.
Let's see what happens in the very near future.
Can summer vacations be salvaged? I'm Gwen Baumgardner with how tourism is adapting in Europe.
I'm just a little bit concerned.
Oahu and Maui County residents flocked to the beach after the ban on sunbathing was lifted.
It's just been a surreal opportunity.
These stories plus Thunderstorm Artis gears up for the Voice finale. Coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon. The time is now 12:32. You're watching This Is Now. I'm Jonathan, your director-producer, alongside Ashley, who has some encouraging news in regards to the coronavirus in the state.
That's right. State health officials are reporting 0 new COVID-19 cases today. DOH also says 2 cases from the Big Island this weekend were travel-related, meaning they were Hawaii residents who visited the mainland. Hawaii's death toll stands at 17, and our statewide count remains at 640. So far, close to 90% of patients have been released from isolation.
Meanwhile, in Washington, President Trump is hosting a conference call with the nation's governors. At least 48 states have started to loosen their stay-at-home orders. Natalie Brand is at the White House, and she filed this report.
President Trump held a roundtable with restaurant executives at the White House.
Last week didn't feel the same. Now it feels good. People are starting to go out. They're opening. They get it.
Earlier, the president sounded an optimistic tone at a meeting of his Opportunity and Revitalization Council.
Not only are the markets up tremendously, but we've had tremendously good and positive information on therapeutics, on cures, and on vaccines.
Stocks rose Monday morning with news the drug manufacturer Moderna Therapeutics posted promising results in phase 1 of its COVID-19 vaccine trial. The FDA has given the go-ahead for the company to move to phase 2 of its study. Early participants developed antibodies after receiving 2 doses of the trial vaccine.
Our goal is to have a vaccine available for broad distribution by year-end or early next year.
As the White House tries to accelerate vaccine development through its effort dubbed Operation Warp Speed, the Federal Reserve Chairman told CBS News the creation of a vaccine is likely vital to advancing the economy.
For the economy to fully recover, people will have to be fully confident, and that may have to await the arrival of a vaccine.
Jerome Powell also told 60 Minutes additional steps may have to be taken by the Fed and Congress to speed up the economic recovery.
You wouldn't want to bet against the American economy. It may take a period of time. It could stretch through the end of next year.
Meanwhile, the House passed a $3 trillion stimulus package late Friday, but for now, Senate Republican leaders and the White House have continued to say they're in wait-and-see mode. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Lieutenant Governor Josh Green says efforts to reopen the state are going smoothly.
Right now, I'm pretty much okay with any activity in the state as long as people are cognizant of social distancing and having masks when necessary. I just don't think there's that much threat right now as long as people are semi-smart about things. I only start worrying when you start getting extra nodes of infection. It's very likely that the schools will open pretty normally in the fall, which is to say August 1st. I still defer to, of course, the superintendent and the governor on that final decision, but it's coming. People have to move forward with their lives.
Green also says he's concerned about the number of people still coming into the state despite the quarantine orders. He says the state may have to take a tougher position to discourage tourism, but doing so is challenging due to legal reasons.
Meantime, the beaches were packed this weekend. Lots of people couldn't wait to get back on the sand and in the water.
The ban on sunbathing and lounging on the beach was lifted on Saturday, but there are some restrictions. Groups must be less than 10 people, and you must practice social distancing. That means keeping a 6-foot distance from people on the sand or in the water. Now, beaches are open a half hour before sunrise until a half hour after sunset. Some people we talked to were cautious about being back on the beach.
I am happy, but at the same time, I'm just a little bit concerned because I feel like the coronavirus is still out there. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a second wave or something. And I feel like people are not taking that much care about being 6 feet apart.
We've seen a few big regulations relaxed, from retail to limited park use. But the major milestone that appears to be next is reopening sit-down and dine-in restaurants. Honolulu's mayor is aiming to do that on June 5th.
With the tourism industry taking a historic hit around the world, some European cities are in a race to reopen in time for summer vacation. CBS News' Gwen Baumgartner reports from London.
Tourist hotspots turned into ghost towns as countries went into lockdown. But now, with restrictions lifting, European capitals are working to salvage the tourism season.
First time the Acropolis reopened, we say, okay, let's go.
Let's go. Ancient Greece showcased some modern additions with signs promoting social distancing. Landmarks reopened to the public today, but limited the number of visitors. Churches in Italy are also reopening, including St. Peter's Basilica. Worshippers wore masks and had their temperatures checked at the door. Last year, neighboring France saw 90 million foreign tourists. Now its borders are shut down, along with entrances to the Louvre and Eiffel Tower. The French government has pledged a $19 billion bailout to its struggling tourism sector and is encouraging residents to plan staycations in the coming months. In the UK, royal landmarks remain closed, but Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle are offering virtual tours until they can safely reopen. For many countries, travel bans will remain in place until June. At that time, some governments will allow travel between other European nations in time for summer vacations. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, London.
One person is dead, another injured after a jet crashes during an air show. It happened in British Columbia, Canada. Cell phone video captures the moment two jets from Canada's Snowbirds team fly together into the distance. You can see as one of the planes peels off. While plummeting to the ground, two loud bangs are heard as two people inside eject.
What? He just crashed. Oh my God!
Last night, the Snowbirds announced Captain Jen Casey, a public affairs officer with the Canadian Forces, had died. The pilot of the aircraft is being treated for injuries. No one on the ground was seriously hurt.
The USS Theodore Roosevelt is preparing to return to active operations. Right now, the ship is at Naval Base Guam, and sailors on board the aircraft carrier are simulating being at sea. It comes as the Navy continues to combat the spread of the virus aboard that ship. Recently, 13 sailors from the USS Roosevelt tested positive. This after they had returned as part of the effort to make the ship operational again following a COVID-19 outbreak in March. That's when more than 1,000 of the Roosevelt's nearly 4,900 crew members tested positive for the virus. Despite the most recent setback, the Navy is proceeding with the simulation. Attorney General William Barr released new developments in last year's deadly shooting at a Navy air station in Florida. Skylar Henry has more.
Attorney General William Barr praised FBI technicians who successfully unlocked 2 iPhones belonging to Mohammed al-Shamrani. The 21-year-old training at Naval Air Station Pensacola in Florida carried out an attack last December that killed 3 U.S. sailors and wounded 8 other Americans.
The phones contained information previously unknown to us that definitively establishes al-Shamrani's significant ties to al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula.
Al-Shamrani, a member of the Saudi Arabian Air Force, was killed by a sheriff's deputy. After unlocking phones the gunman tried to destroy, federal investigators learned he spent years planning the attack and was radicalized as far back as 2015.
In the months before the attack, while he was here among us, he talked with AQAP about his plans and tactics, taking advantage of the information he acquired here to assess how many people he could try to kill.
The Justice Department had asked Apple for help breaking the encryption on the phones and criticized the company for stalling its investigation.
In cases like this, where the user is a terrorist, Apple's decision has dangerous consequences for the public safety and the national security, and is, in my judgment, unacceptable.
Apple maintains the company turned over all the data it had related to the case. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Just days after filing for bankruptcy, JCPenney's is now planning to close 200 stores this year. The 118-year-old company has struggled to gain profits for years, but the company said the pandemic caused sales to plummet. Last Friday, JCPenney's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The retailer has 85,000 employees, but hasn't said how many people will lose their jobs because of the closings. The company says next year an additional 50 stores will have to be closed. JCPenney's is the fourth national retailer to file for bankruptcy just this month. Meanwhile, more Uber employees are going to lose their jobs. The ride-hailing giant said it's cutting another 3,000 employees. These latest cuts come just 2 weeks after the company announced plans to cut 3,700 full-time jobs. Uber says it's closing or consolidating around 45 offices all over the world. All of this, of course, comes from the reduced demand for rides.
All right, let's switch gears just a bit and get to some entertainment news, because part 1 of The Voice finale is tonight right here on KHNL. You know who we are rooting for, right?
Of course.
Right? Let's hear from Thunderstorm Ortiz, our own local boy, who is gearing up for the contest tonight.
Oh man, I mean, I started off this competition as a single young bachelor, and I'm a married man now, and I'm a married man stepping into a cool chapter with The Voice band. It's just been an amazing adventure. I mean, I can remember, being that young kid coming in the blinds, and now feeling a little more mature here at the finals, and just learning all the things that I've learned from John Legend as my coach at times, and then now with Nick Jonas. It's just been a surreal opportunity and experience that I never thought that I would be one to go through it. And so it's a really cool blessing, man.
Oh, go Thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Tonight, KHNL, 7 p.m. Don't miss it. Time for some good medicine, folks. More positive news for us.
Now, while traditional graduations are canceled, schools still celebrated their seniors this weekend. Check it out. At Mililani High School, more than 640 graduates were honored during a special drive-through graduation ceremony. Cars lined up along Meheulu Parkway as proud parents decked their vehicles with balloons and banners. Now, students were told to show up at specific times to be recognized. Each graduate was able to get out of their vehicle to accept their diploma. There was even a photo op for the seniors. And seniors at Leeward Oahu's James Campbell High School were honored during a honk and wave event. We're told about 70 seniors lined up along Fort Weaver Road as a parade of fire trucks helped celebrate their accomplishments.
Love seeing that this weekend. And if you have some graduation photos you want to share with us, you can share them via our website or just post them on Facebook with the hashtag HNN, not face tag. Yes. All right. Speaking of technology and all that we're using here to stay connected, have you been noticing those backgrounds different reporters have been using?
On Zoom?
Yeah, on Zoom. They're getting a lot of attention, and the attention from CNN's reporter Jeannie Mose. She filed this story about how some people even rating them, about how good they are. Okay. Let's check it out.
Whether it's a cat on a weather forecaster's lap.
That is a big cat.
Or wallpaper.
At home.
So loud it makes your head hurt. These dispatches from home give viewers plenty to read into.
There, you got the books. You seem very smart.
We're going for a prison library.
Even a prison library wouldn't put up with Bill Kristol's messy books.
Look at that. Color-coded books. What should I read tonight? How about something blue?
A Chicago weatherman was caught reading with his hairy knee exposed, nabbed at home, wearing shorts.
Try to get to Paul in just a little bit, and we'll be right back after this.
And viewers aren't just watching. Room Raider at Rate My Skype Room is judging.
It's unhinged.
The Room Raider gave Tom Friedman's backdrop 4 out of 10, saying it's like Panic Room meets After Hours Club. He gave Governor Christie 0.
It's just a gratuitous shot.
Repaint, burn the furniture, make masks from the drapes. Raider Claude Taylor has no interior design credentials. He's just creating
lighthearted social distancing content.
He picks up on toilet paper and crooked lampshades, advises reposition plant to block vent, after he suggested to Peter Baker, for God's sake, man, hang something on that picture hook. Baker hung 2 somethings, one of them on a door. And when the Raider gave Ken Burns a 9 for his attic,
it's certainty.
Ken Burns himself let the Raider know it's a barn. Everybody's a critic.
Wait, does this guy have a framed picture of himself?
Yep, Chris Saliza tells us it's a photo of his first appearance on CNN some 15 years ago. All of the home judging is enough to drive a reporter outside to clown around. But even outside isn't safe.
It's not exactly clear policy. It's a little windy out here, Andrea.
We give the lights a 10 for falling so symmetrically. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Wow, people are watching.
I know. Whenever I have to do something at home, I check everything behind me. Everything.
I know. Don't give us heat for our This Is Now set. Eventually we're going to get a new one. Right now they have us in the basement. Or I don't know what this is really.
Control room.
Yeah, I call it Studio C.
Okay,
Maybe.
yeah.
We're C team right now. We're going to get up to A team soon enough. All right, guys, that's going to do it for This Is Now. On this Monday, we have a news conference coming up at 2:30 with the governor expecting a lot of new details about the state's response to the coronavirus. So stick with us there. We'll for sure bring it to you on our H&N digital platforms. You guys have a safe Monday.